everyone, my name is Rage and welcome to Synergy Lab. Have you ever nearly choked on oil? I wouldn't recommend it. So today, well, I'll expand on that later. Maybe it might slip me by because oil and it's slippery and humor's so bad I actually feel like someone just punched me in the stomach as the punishment for saying it. That, or I moved my mouse a little bit too vigorously and the energy kind of exhausted me. You know, both things tend to happen. It's absolutely fine. Have you ever thought to yourself, right, I like Isaac. I do like firing tears and having familiars and beams and power and beauty, but, you know, I've never been able to just summon a dragon and fire it at my enemies, you know? Why not? Well, to be fair, that is a good question. Today, I'm going to solve that particular conundrum. I'm going to fix that riddle, and I'm going to complete your enigma, because I am going to teach you the ways of the dragon. Now, admittedly, okay, I obviously wanted rid of the black heart because it's a key and important thing when it comes to this Synergy Lab there. So that's why I, in fact, stepped back in front of that shot in order to guarantee that I took it. Because obviously, why else would I have taken that hit? I was already, like, away from it. I had no reason to even move. Even a chimpanzee could have dodged that if they'd so been inclined. But no, I chose to take it. Thereby, the only two options are I'm an absolute moron or it was deliberate strategy. And really, guys, which one is more likely? And I do not want to see a load of comments answering that question. Okay, I don't want to see it. I just don't. So we're gonna grab a bit of Ludo technique, and if you know what, I know we're already seeing those comments. Absolutely guaranteed. I know it's completely and utterly happening. So to that effect, you know what? I'm gonna curse you all. Yeah, this entire time I've had the power to curse people, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So, the last thing that you touched that isn't a mouse or keyboard now becomes animated and alive, and is bloodlusted in trying to kill you. Okay? Alright? How's that? How's that worked out for you? How's that doing? See, for me, the last thing that would be, I don't know why I'm cursing myself as part of this curse, don't judge me, is a stone owl statue that I got for, I think, a birthday or Christmas a while ago. I love it. It's fantastic. It's just this really heavy carved rock statue of an awesome owl, because owls are awesome. They fly completely silently and can detect, attack, and pick up a mouse in the dead of night that would be all but silent and invisible to our mere inferior human senses. They're such powerful predators, and I love them. The champions of the avian world, and essentially eagles are their bitch, so you can just get lost if you think eagles are better than owls, because you're free to have that opinion, but you're fucking wrong. Either way, that's the last thing. I like owls. If I could just combine lizards and owls, oh, somebody combine lizards and owls for me. I don't really know how you're going to achieve it, but please do it. I really need it. I don't think you realize how much that will really make my life. So grab a little bit of an extra tears up just so this starts being awesome. And yeah, we're going to work a little bit on the Ludo spread technique, which is incredibly potent. So for me, I'd have a bloodlusted solid stone owl coming. I'd actually be completely screwed. I imagine a lot of you guys are now being attacked by like a cup or a bottle or like a packet of something, which I guess is horrific in its own right. But either way, curses aside, admittedly, the air quotes dragon we're going to be summoning might be akin to a kid who sat there drawing with some crayons, some really shaky lines, and in his head he's seeing this beautiful, masterpiece, precise, rendered image of a gorgeous dragon destroying the landscape and burning folks with reckless abandon, and then the camera kind of suddenly pulls out, and it's just like really poorly constructed, terrible drawing. You can barely tell if it's a dragon, but he's super happy, you know, imagination is powerful. Might be one of those scenarios, okay, but I I wanted to see if I could make a dragon. And we now want ourselves a little bit of range down. Yes, indeed. In fact, we want the minimal amount of range. And that's actually about okay for shot speed. And we want to scooch on over to here and grab ourselves the proptosis, which will give us a lovely little bit of bomb. That's what it will. That's what it will give us. So we're going to go for the lost contact for now, which will make it kind of cool. And don't worry, it's going to evolve a fair few times because, you know, we're making a creature here. So look, right now it's starting in the energy. It's just the egg, the dragon in the egg waiting to be hatched. Granted, it's an egg firing a load of other eggs as it kind of moves around the room, destroying people with the eggs that it's firing. And each egg hits the ground and bursts into 4 smaller eggs and then disappears forever. But the principle is, of course, very apparent and the same, I think it's fair to say. So if we murderize the same, thank you very much, and head to the next floor, I'll show you some magical majesty with how this ends up being. But first, I need to slip into something more comfortable. Come with me. It's my pajamas. Look at them. They've got little animal drawings on. Ah! Why did you think we were coming in here? I don't understand. All right. So, why did I don't get it. Okay. So, let's look. Honestly, guys, if you want someone to notice you, show them your pajamas. It might not be in the way you were hoping, but no one will forget you if you went out your way to show them your pajamas. Advice from me. I really hope no one does that. So you see now kind of the form we're taking, right? The central orb is the body. The back one is the tail leading out, and the 2 sides are the wings. Granted, you could say it's a more bird-type approach, but I think if you squint really hard enough, we have a kind of moving creature-type effect here, which I think is certainly pretty good. I think the front does look kind of like a head as it goes along the place. I told you, this one might need some artistic license, but that's okay, right? That's definitely completely and utterly fine. So what we want to do is get ourselves the continuum, which will give it this nice little colourful approach, which is obviously fantastic. And then we kind of need to do a little bit of spacing. So, as it is right now, we need a little bit more shot speed. Honestly, it gets kind of delicate, this, but we can do it. We can do it. So, we'll grab a little bit more. Maybe one more. This might be the one. What we're hoping for is it to be definitely faster, because obviously our dragon needs to fly quickly, but we want the left and right tips of the wings to be at either end of the room, and I think this is kind of working out pretty well here. Look at that. It also looks like our dragon is kind of magical with the splattery trail that it's leaving behind. I'm kind of totally on board with that. We also want to get that and a little bit of spectral tears. So let's move this on as it goes around the room and eats everyone. Granted, when it goes sideways, it suddenly gains like an extra pair of wings, or like its claws are extended, but we don't need to worry about that, okay? It can be a form-changing dragon. There's nothing wrong with a form-changing dragon, okay? And then let's murder our ways through this. So, drowning in oil. So, I had a bath earlier because it's important to relax after a hard day's work, and Danny had just had her bath, and I was like, I'm going to be economical. We're going to save water, alright? You leave that in. I don't mind. I'll hop in it, you know? It's fine. And last time I brought up a story that involved this, so many people were like, what? Someone else's bath? Oh, like I'd suggested? Just lower yourself down into the sludge of the swamp. Let the leeches and dirt really get into your pores and really let it infect you with the horrible, deadly diseases. Like, fucking, it's sharing a tub of water with a loved one. I don't understand. Like, it can't just be a me thing. There's nothing bloody wrong with it. Alright, good. See, the thing is, what I think's weird about this is Danny thinks it's weird to use a bath that someone else has just been in, even if they're a close family member, which obviously, you know, to me is fine. However, she thinks it's fine to use someone else's toothbrush, again, if they're a close family member, whereas I think that is just downright, So, which one of us is more off here? Or are both of them bad and we're just as bad as each other? In which case, I don't know, it's entirely possible we're both fucking disgusting. Either way, she also likes to treat herself, but that means putting, like, these sort of, like, pampering skin smoothie softening oils in the water, which, you know, I'm sure are amazing. I don't really care that much, but I didn't realize this was a thing. So initially I go to get in, and we'll return to this once I have finished this synergy. So we are going to get compound fracture, which will start making these lovely clouds of glistening dust as our now skeletal dragon skeletal dragon. Then we're going to get the lump of coal, which gives it this much more defined look. And then finally we want the pair of a bit of pulse worm and a bit of side-to-side worm. And then we start to have, as you see, it moves along the bone dragon, shaking left and right as it flies through the room. Totally works out, yeah. No, you're right. It's not great as a bone dragon, but you know, I kinda dig it. There is one, well, technically two modifications left. We're gonna grab Cricket's head so we get a little bit of nice damage on this, and then we're also going to get just accuracy equals power and a tiny bit of magnetism. So let's make sure. Oh, we're slightly too far out. We want to lower shot speed by just a little bit. I'll go for 2. I'll go for 2. I'll lower it by 32. Oh, beautiful. So now we have our lovely flying gently by bone dragon, leaving its trail of magical dust from whence it was animated. Look, don't judge me, okay? I tried to make a dragon. And then, once it has tasted flesh, once it has consumed blood, it can then ignite with a fiery aura, shrouding its body in a glowing sleeve, letting it ghost through the air as it moves towards. I mean, it's kind of phoenixy as well, isn't it? Which I can totally get behind. You know, I like it. Alright, I like it. I think if you look really hard, you can imagine this. And look, the red provides the body, the bones inside are the skeleton, and it's kind of an alive, ghostly flying thing that I've summoned to swoop into my foes. It totally works. Right? And then look, it like sucks them in because it's going with its huge maw. Come on! Maybe a phoenix is more accurate, or some bird of prey, but I love the fact that it genuinely looks like a translucent creature, and you can see the bone skeleton underneath. You try and tell me that's not at least, you know, kind of cool, right? Like, come on! Alright, stone, we don't really care about that. What we got over here, we don't really care about that. I guess I'll get the host hat. Why not become immune to explosives while I'm at it? Alright, so you will go through there. The only annoying thing, of course, is that it does, well, tend to be... See, I even like it when it's just like this, right? Because it essentially just like so it looks like a permanent glowing red shuriken that almost has its own little life, like it's a kind of squiddy tentacle creature. Now I'm kind of there. I'm a big fan of that. Now that I've described it in that way, I am all over that. And there is one further thing we can do to this if you don't like the kind of bony look. So well, I'll show you that on the next couple of floors. But I like this, right? I think it's a nice little theme one. And I think it works kind of well. And actually, when we get it gloomy in the night, give it a more purpley tone, it does kind of look quite eerie as it travels around the place, hunting for victims. But essentially, because I didn't know this oily, skin pampery stuff was in the bath, as soon as I stepped in and, you know, oil make things slippy, I effectively just fell over and landed in it. So that was a good step one. So I'm like, oh, I'll get in the... now there's water everywhere and I gotta dry the cap in it. God damn it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So what I like to do is I go on my phone in my bath because I like to live dangerously. If I'm surprised or my fingers slip, oh, it's broken. I like the thrill of knowing the anger and inconvenience that might be caused by a moment's hesitation, by a slight bit of reckless, what-ifening. Yeah. God, I'm so exciting to be around and know. You have no idea. I love to live dangerously. I don't know, there is something kind of cool about that. I do almost think. Either way, I like to, you know how a crocodile in a river, because of course I am as manly, fierce and powerful as a crocodile, so this is a perfect example. Ask anyone, ask you guys, if you had to describe me as an animal, crocodile? Yes, see, I knew it, I absolutely knew it. You know how when the one's lurking in a river and it just wants to be its eyes above the surface, so barely any of it is showing, but you can just see its eyes above the surface of the water, right? Almost imperceptible, but it is, technically speaking, there. Well, I like to do that, but instead of eyes, it's my nose. Like, I like to lie backwards and sink into the water until it almost suffocates me, with my phone held slightly above, so I'm effectively kind of submerged, but can still breathe and use it and browse Reddit and some such distractions from my actual life. I'll do one more floor like this, because I really, really do like the look that we have going on here. I think actually the more I do properly play with it, the more I'm really starting to enjoy it. Also, lovely bit of context there. So I'm in that situation, and Danny, in the meanwhile, unbeknownst to me, has got our hedgehog Valencia out her cage and is just kind of holding her, seeing if she's okay. That's all good, and she thinks, I know, I'll go take her to see me. And I'm like, cool. Normally I'm like, Valencia, how you doing, little hedgehog thing? That's fine. I don't mind. But I was super distracted in what I was reading on my phone. Like, I was no aware of anything. So I essentially get completely snuck up on by a pair of ninja... I say a pair of ninja hedgehogs. Yes, Danny's actually secretly a hedgehog. No, by Danny and the hedgehog she's holding. So before I'm even aware that they're there, they're about half a foot from the edge of the bath, and I'm still no idea. So the first thing that I'm aware of is suddenly from my right, quite close to my ear, this kind of sound that sounds like a snuffling animal, and of course my instant reaction to that is, oh my god, what is in the house? Which physically translates to a and that's the problem. Because my mouth was already practically kind of half submerged in heavily oiled water, which then meant when I surprise gulp type thing like that, I got a mouthful of not great. Not great. Put a pin in that. So what we can do then is get ourselves penny tears, which does take it pennified, and this kind of more solidifies it. It's like we've grown a proper layer of skin, or made the bones thicker, calcified them a little bit, and that's all good. And what this does for us is just gives us this lovely, you see, this tiny little golden trail behind it, you see. It's the ever so smallest thing, but it's just this little bit of gold dust in the magical trail, which I kind of really, really dig. I mean, that's all it is, adding a bit of penny tears to this, but I think it gives it this really nice little veneer, the way they bleed into each other, because it doesn't look like the pennies. It does look, at least in most of the strands, just like a solid object fixed within this glowing, eerie skin, and I like it. I really, really do. So I'm going to grab just a little bit more of the defensives, because I kind of am concerned a little bit about my general safety. I do think that might turn out to be a problem. So I'm just going, suddenly got a huge mouthful swirled with this oily bathwater, as you do, startled as I scramble up. And the thing is, I can't really scramble up, because you try and put your hands on the side of the bath, right, and try and push off from the bottom, or, you know, just try and get a grip, and the entire bath is lined, because of the oily water, with a thin layer of oil, which means that I'm just slipping everywhere. So I do an absolutely phenomenal impression of a salmon swimming upstream. Like, if you need that, I am there for you. But outside of that, it was not fun. I almost drowned. It was, I mean, I don't think I did technically almost drown, but yeah. You know, do I go hush with this? Part of me thinks that I'm going to regret this, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So eventually I do recover, realize what happened, and Annie's there looking really alarmed. The hedgehog has immediately balled back up into a defensive curl, because apparently that means I am now totally a threat to her. And admittedly, a part of me, nah, it's fine. She didn't know any better. So yeah, that's the annoying thing when you start doing this. It kind of stops being able to stay, and each time you summon a new one. But that was kind of the point, right? Like, I wanted to be able to summon a dragon, not permanently having a dragon. So every time my dragon gets used up, and of course dragons love treasure, they love hoarding it, they love collecting it. So I feel like it kind of makes sense that it is summoning coins, just at a thematic level. I don't know, maybe that's a stretch, that we're trying to get themes into my synergy lab, you know, lovely little themes. So yeah, that happened to me. That was fun. Sometimes I do. And anyone else almost drowned recently? You know, I'd love to know about it. Love to be clued in on that one. My word. Alright, please hush. Can you die? I just want you to die for me. I realize that I can't really see the synergy because of all the coins that are pouring on me. I'm starting to maybe regret the addition of this, because of course I tested it without killing a lot of enemies, so I never really realized this. But the swarm of gold upon the floor is really kind of making it to appreciate the synergy more, and that's kind of something I abhor, because it tends to be that I show a synergy the door if I can no longer see why it should be so much of a smorgasbord of beauty. Bum bum bum. That's my lack of ability at forming rhymes and rapping. It wasn't really rapping. I mean, I guess it's the kind of rapping that a nervous 8-year-old does when suddenly thrust onto a stage and given a microphone and told to diss this prick. And, you know, I still have trauma to this day. Not that didn't happen. I just have general. I just thought I'd let you know, general trauma is happening pretty consistently. Why won't you die? I keep summoning ghost dragons to attack you, but apparently they're not effective enough. Why are you immune to ghost dragons, Hush? Why are you immune to ghost dragons? Can you please pop out? Just whenever you're ready. Can you please pop out? Just there. Oh, there we go. Yep, next ghost dragon going in. It does look like I have essentially turned my tears into a very slow fire rate, like Phoenix money bird. This I kind of like right here, because it looks fire. Fire! Like, it actually looks like I'm firing tears that shape and function like this, which I really kind of like. I could totally get behind that. I just wish you could disable the coins from spawning, which admittedly I think you probably could. Yeah, do I do the delirium? No, I'll kill the hush, but I think this against the delirium is just asking for trouble when we would completely annihilate everyone. And again, this is a synergy where I essentially like to show you multiple modes, because a lot of you might prefer the more bony dragon, and oh, you naughty rascal you, I don't judge, but oh, prefer that bony dragon. Or you might prefer the more fleshed out money one, you know, it's fine. I'm not gonna make any kind of assumptions, because that's a weird thing to assume someone, oh, you're one of those fleshed out money dragon types. I see, snicker, Judge Guffaw. You know, there's not enough time in the day, really. Alright, come on, little no, Isaac got away. Come back to play. I think he did. He did. Alright, what the hell? I just got absorbed into a coin. Guys, I don't want to alarm anyone, but I did just get absorbed into a coin. This one! Nope, this one! Oh, well, that's sad. So let's fight Mega Satan. We'll at least do that instead of Delirium, I think is the sensible way. Mega Satan, meet my dragon! Again in a second. All right, one moment. And meet my dragon! One sec. It's coming back. Just give me a moment. There we go! You think you're horsemen of the You think your horsemen of the apocalypse can take my dragon? Well, you know nothing of my dragon and all the ridiculous amounts of money it's summoning already, making it kind of hard to see everything. Maybe having serious regret, maybe not. You'll never know. I mean, you might infer from the tone, but you can't fully be sure. I do love that we've covered the entire platform here in the lovely magical dust of the dragon, which is essentially bone dust, but I think everything works out better if we do assume that it is just magical dust. And then he's going to wait for part 2 of our adversary to arrive with some weird texture overlapping bugs, but we're not going to judge. Fire fly into him. Burn him to cinders, almighty dragon. Totally worked! Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Oh, goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video flow.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo. But I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you, even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on, and it's gonna be a truly badass song. And don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.